Hey guys, welcome back to my channel if you've been here before, and if you haven't, welcome to my channel. So we're back again today inside of my tarot spiritual cabinet, whatever you want to call it. So for my first video, I went through all of my tarot decks, which are on the top shelf of the cabinet, and I talked about the ones that I feel very connected with, and then went through the ones that I don't really feel connected with and have been considering passing them along to someone else who may use them more. And I thought that I would do the same type of video today, but with my oracle decks and affirmation decks. So those are all of the ones that you see here on the bottom shelf today. So yeah, I'm just going to go through, maybe not all of them, but the ones that kind of stand out to me. I do have a bit more oracle and affirmation decks than I do tarot decks. This shelf feels very full compared to the tarot one, but it could also be just because it shares the shelf with the books as well. I don't know, but I feel like there's a lot more to go through with this one. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to talk about all of them, but I will definitely be talking about the ones that really stand out to me, whether I feel very drawn to and connected with them, or the complete opposite, where I don't really use them, don't really feel connected to them anymore, and possibly maybe thinking about rehoming them at some point. Okay, so first I think I will point out the ones that I have a very strong connection with, the ones that I use quite frequently and don't have a desire to pass them on to somebody else anytime soon. So my number one oracle deck, the one that I talk about the most probably and use the most on this channel, is the one hiding back here, the Sacred Traveler. I feel like the cards are just stunning. I love the artwork. The messages are very simple, and like I've mentioned a million times before, simple is what I like. It really pulls me in. I love the artwork and the colors that are used, and I think I also am really drawn to the fact that it is a matte deck. So I really enjoy that feeling of the cards when I'm using them and shuffling them. And yeah, I don't know, since day one when I bought this deck, I felt very connected with it, and it's always my go-to deck whenever I'm doing readings for myself, or even if I want to use it for a post online. This is the one that jumps out at me the most. The guidebook is very good too. It's a good size. Like, it's quite small, like short, but it's pretty thick, and it has a good amount of information. I think enough information to help you get the point across. The next deck that I feel very drawn to and enjoy using is the Buddhism reading cards. So this one is more of a newer deck for me. I got it a few months ago now, but it has really helped me along my journey with learning more about Buddhism and trying to make it a daily practice within my life as well. So they just go over a lot of what is taught within Buddhism, but it's put in kind of like a simple terms, easy to understand. And I think the cards are very pretty too. I think they're very nice to look at. And then on the back, each card has a different design, which I think is really cool. The artwork, it's very pretty. And yeah, I really enjoy using these cards. So the next one isn't a deck that I use very often anymore, but it does hold a special place in my heart, and that is the Mystical Wisdom card deck. So this one was my very first Oracle deck that I ever purchased. And I got into Oracle decks through my friend. She let me borrow one of hers, and that was kind of what opened my eyes and broadened my horizons a little bit to Oracle cards. And then after that I went out and purchased my own deck, and that was this one. So what drew me to these cards is definitely the artwork and all of the beautiful colors that run within this deck. It is absolutely stunning. I love the artwork. I enjoy the messages as well, but I do feel like there are just some other decks that I have now that I connect with a bit better on that level. But I do think that this is one of the decks that I have where the artwork is just out of this world. So amazing. I also really enjoy the self-care wisdom cards. I use those quite a bit for personal readings and also on my Instagram. I also enjoy messages from the guides as well. Not so much the artwork with these ones because there isn't really much to it. Yes, they're pretty, but it's very, very simple. But I enjoy these ones more so for the messages. I feel like I can really connect with the messages when I use these cards, and obviously that is a big thing. And I feel like I have to talk about the Crystallary Oracle cards. These are probably the most beautiful cards that I have within my collection. When I opened this deck and saw these cards, I was blown away. And again, I think it has something to do with the matte feel. I really, really enjoy that, but I think it really helps bring out the colors within this imagery, and it is just, it's so beautiful. When I first got these cards, I think I just sat with them for like a half hour and just went through every single card and just took in all of the detail within each card. And I may not use this deck a lot anymore, but yeah, again, I couldn't see myself handing it over just yet because it is too beautiful. Like, I can't get over it. And it's not that I don't feel a connection to these cards anymore. I definitely do. I just feel like I, at the moment, feel a bit more of a stronger connection with other cards that I have in my collection. But the connection is still there with these. I just haven't had the pull to use them recently. So yeah, I think if someone were to ask me what I think the most beautiful deck is that I've seen so far, I would have to go with the Crystallary deck. Okay, and then I will just briefly share with you a couple of other ones that I really enjoy. The Intuitive Life Coaching Oracle. I am a big fan of this one. I use it quite often, more for myself. I really, really connect with the messages that come up within these cards. The artwork is nice also, but I feel like this one I'm more connected with because of the messages. The Believe in Your Own Magic Oracle. This is a really cute and fun and like peppy sort of deck that I really enjoy, and I really get good messages from this one as well. And then the last one that I want to show you is When My Soul Whispered Oracle deck. This one is very cute. It's very simple, but again, I love the messages. I can show you the back so you can get a bit of an idea if you don't already know, if you're not familiar what the cards look like. So very simple, but very beautiful colors and really great messages as well. I connect really, really well with this one. Okay, and now some of the decks here that I don't use all that often. Some of them though, I just don't feel like I'm ready to pass them on just yet, even though the connection with them isn't really there like it used to be. So I'll start with the crystal reading cards. So I mainly got this deck to help me learn crystals better and like each of the different types and what they are meant for and things like that. So I think the cards are beautiful. I really enjoy how they look. But I think in the beginning, when I first started my journey, I was really excited to learn a lot and learn as much as I could and about everything. And that was roughly when I purchased this deck. I had an interest in crystals. I wanted to just take in all the information about them and learn everything about them. And I think it was more so just out of excitement because this was new and I was excited to learn. And then as time went on, I started to realize that I wasn't as drawn to crystals as I thought I was. I do think they're beautiful. I do have a very small collection of crystals, but I feel like my collection is just more because I think that they're really beautiful and not so much to use them in ways that other people find uses for them. And I don't know, maybe it'll change in the future. But for right now, I like to have them because I think that they're really beautiful. I used this deck a lot when I first got it, and then it kind of started to, fade out a little bit the more I got different decks that I just connected with better. But yeah, very stunning, beautiful cards. I do enjoy them, so I don't think this is a deck that I would get rid of anytime soon. Next deck that I have that I don't really connect with that much anymore is the Healing Mantra deck. I felt like I had a connection with this deck before I bought it, and then after buying it, I tried to work with it a few times and there was just nothing there. So I never really had any connection with this deck. I'm not entirely sure why. You think I would. It's pretty simple. Like I said, I love simple stuff. But I don't know, maybe it's just too simple for me? I don't know. I think the colors are really cute that are used. I like how each of the cards has a different color, but yeah, there's just nothing here. No connection between me and this deck. So this would be a deck that I would feel okay with passing on to somebody else. The next deck that I want to talk about is the Moonology Oracle cards. So this deck I am very on the fence with. Again, this was one of my very first purchases, so I do have that sort of bond with this deck. I just don't use it anymore like I used to. I'm not entirely sure why. I had a strong connection with this deck in the beginning, but yeah, recently it just hasn't been there. I do enjoy it though. I love the moon, so I really enjoy it for that reason. And I kind of got this deck for similar reasons to the Crystal Oracle deck. Was that I wanted to learn more about, the moon cycles, the astrology signs, but I just haven't really taken the time to use it for that purpose. But yeah, I don't know, I'm on the fence about this one. Not sure if I'm ready to let it go quite yet, or if I should hang on to it a little bit longer. So then the next deck that I want to talk about is the Wild Offering Oracle. So this deck is very sweet. It's very sweet, it's very cute. I love the design of the cards, but I just don't connect really with the messages. I'm not sure why. I haven't used this deck a whole lot. It's very similar to the Healing Mantra deck in a way that I purchased it, and then it seems like after I purchased it, I didn't really have a desire to use it. I just didn't feel very connected with the cards. So yeah, this is another one that I have not really used. Don't know if I ever will build a connection with it or not. So I think this is another deck where I would feel okay with passing it on. So I think that was all of the oracle cards that I wanted to talk about. So now I will share with you the affirmation decks that I have that I really like and use quite often. So my number one affirmation deck that I use all the time, and if you watch my videos often, then you will probably recognize it, and that is the Less Anxiety affirmation cards. This deck is amazing. I love the messages. The messages are so relatable. Every time I pull from this deck, I just feel like it just understands. Like, it's a deck that just knows me very well, and I love that the images, the colors, the designs are all different for each of the cards, so that makes it really fun. And yeah, this is my absolute go-to when I need a bit of a pick-me-up or an affirmation for the day. And the next one is the very cutie Secret Garden cards. I love this deck. I think it is the sweetest thing. So this is the backing for each of the cards. I think it's so cute. They're very simple, but I feel like they are very accurate. And even if it may not seem like a lot, I feel like these messages, they really hit home. And I really enjoy using them and hearing their messages every single time. I also have the Spirit Junkie and the Super Attractor deck as well. These are very cute and fun also. I just don't use these ones as often as the other two. So if I had to choose decks to pass on to somebody else, I would probably choose to pass on these two over the other two that I just showed you. But these are very good decks as well. I don't use these ones as often as the other two. I also have the She Believed She Could, So She Did, and these are nice cards as well. Once again, don't use these as much as the other two, but this deck has good messages as well. Very fun and pretty colors and designs for each of the cards. So yeah, I think those were all of the decks that I wanted to talk about today. Kind of explain why I'm more connected with some more than the others. It's very similar though to how I feel towards the tarot decks. Like, some of them I know that I would feel okay giving them to somebody else. I just need to find the right time to do so, I feel. But yeah, again, it would make me happy knowing that they are being used more with someone else than they are with me. But yeah, I feel like all of the decks, even the ones that I don't feel as connected to anymore, all of them are a part of my journey, have been a part of my journey. And you know, like, sometimes things come into your life for a certain amount of time, and then when you reach the point where you kind of don't need each other anymore, you kind of part ways. That's how I feel like it is with our decks sometimes. And then I know other people who have no desire to get rid of any of their decks, and that's okay too. It really just depends on the person, depends on the reader, how you feel about your cards and, yeah, your connection with them. I personally don't think that there's anything wrong with with hanging onto decks or giving them away. It's all about preference and yeah, whatever you feel suits you the best. So yeah, that is what I have for you guys today. I would love to hear if you have any of these decks, which ones that you're very connected with, which ones you don't really have a strong connection with. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. And I'm pretty sure I have a deck walkthrough or flip through of every deck here, so if you want a more deeper in-depth look at the cards, you can feel free to check out within my list of videos, and you should be able to find the one you're looking for. And as always, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I greatly appreciate it, and I shall see you in the next one.